Welcome to my channel LGBT lesbian stripper.
Oh. If you like that I voiced the continuation of the series Stripper and want me to continue, please like and write a comment on the video. This will be an incentive to continue working on translation and dubbing.
Season 2 Episode 11 Part 1A.
Something wrong? No, on the contrary, you look stunning, Camila. I mean it. 1 minute for an awkward silence between us. Fuckboys will be all over you dressed so beautifully like this, she grumbled, making me smile. If I didn't know how crazy Lauren was for Carla, I might even think that her attitude was pure jealousy. But it would be crazy of me to think such thing. So I just smiled. Within minutes we were already in the streets of LA. Lauren at every instant told stories about her and about the places where we passed by. It was good to know more of her story and her life itself. She could be so different from the arrogant businesswoman that everyone imagined her to be. Laurel, today there's a Mega Dodgers game. We could take Camila to watch it. Taylor gave the idea. Lauren seemed to be thinking as she drove her car. I don't think Camila wants to go to a baseball stadium, Tay. If it depends on me, it's okay. We go, no problems. I spoke calmly. Lauren looked at me and smiled. Are you sure? You do know how crowded it gets, right, Miss Cabello? Yes, Miss Jauregui, I know. Do you always treat each other so formally like this? Taylor asked from the back seat of the car, causing a relaxed laugh. Sometimes, yes, I like Camila's surname. Lauren spoke, staring at me. Is this serious, or are you kidding? I'm being very serious. I like Miss Cabello's Latin blood. The atmosphere had become tense. Our gazes crossed with certain mischievousness, and I wasn't sure if it was with this intention that Lauren had spoken. Well, let's go to the stadium? The game should start in half an hour. In exactly 20 minutes, the three of us were going through the huge crowd that entered the Dodgers stadium. Lauren walked in the front, leading us through the best way, and Taylor made us get into the spirit. We bought snapbacks and jerseys, which suited Lauren really well. She was wearing light jeans that outlined her curves perfectly well, a blue jersey with the name of the team and a snapback. I literally never thought that I would ever see her like this. I found seats up there, come on. Lauren spoke louder due to the big noise. The woman held my hand, pulling me through the crowd. She was right, I had no idea of how much that place was crowded. We walked with some difficulty until we arrived at our seats. Finally, she spoke, sitting down. What heat is this, God? Taylor spoke as she fanned herself. I sat next to Lauren, cussing inwardly the heat that made this morning. Luckily, I was wearing light clothing despite being dark, however, jeans. As soon as I crossed my legs beside Lauren, her eyes immediately landed on me. I nodded the hem of the team jersey, leaving my stomach completely showing, but I wouldn't care. I would prove to Lauren that it wasn't only Carla who knew how to seduce. Jesus, this is not working. Lauren spoke, taking her eyes off my legs and fanning herself with the pamphlet she had received. I held in a laugh, turning my snapback backwards. The game is about to start, Taylor informed. Do you want something to drink? You seem to be hot. Lauren spoke, staring at me. Was it madness, or was she eating me with her eyes? Yes, I do. You look beautiful, Camila. You too, Lauren. She smiled and got up to get the drinks. Taylor, who was beside her, just casted us a mischievous smile. Lauren soon returned with soda and popcorn. The game was pretty animated. The stadium was sold out. It was without a doubt exciting, and the Jauregui family definitely loved that kind of game because both understood everything and some more. Lauren time or another explained me some pitches, and laughed at my lack of knowledge on the subject. I was good, and she seemed very happy to be here. She laughed a lot. -1 had already forgotten how good it is to watch a game like this. You should have more fun, leave work aside for a few hours. I can't, Camila, I am alone and I have a lot of commitments. That can be paused for a moment of rest. It does wonders to the mind, you know? I bet it does. I'll leave you in charge of that. I didn't understand, but I just nodded. We paid attention back to the game, which luckily the team that Lauren and Taylor liked had won. We left the enormous stadium in pure joy. It was so weird to meet this more relaxed side of her, but it was being wonderful. After there I met the entire downtown LA. Lauren and Taylor were great guides. We took a lot of pictures, against Lauren's wishes of course. She hated to take pictures, without reason of course. The Jauregui family had an outstanding beauty. I spoke to Mom, and she said that we should have lunch at home. Dad wants to spend more time with you, Laura. Taylor said, getting in the car. All right, we are going home. Then I'll take you to meet the rest, Cams. The woman spoke gently, making me smile. After a cold bath in that hellish heat, I wore a long white skirt with lace details and a huge slit in the thigh. On the upper body, a blouse of the same color with long sleeves but loose. It also left part of my stomach showing. I wanted something light, soft. I just wanted to be Camila. You look wonderful, Malal. Taylor said when she found me in the middle of the corridor. Thank you. Where is Lauren? She's talking with Dad in the balcony. Let's go there? I just nodded, being guided by the girl to where Lauren was. Getting there, she smiled broadly as soon as she put her eyes on me. They were evaluative and curious. Do you always dress in such a beautiful way? Mike asked, making me blush. No, sir, I just dress normally. Lauren, you are a lucky woman. Dad, she whispered. What, you have a beautiful secretary. When I was working, your mother didn't let me have beautiful secretaries. That's why. They were always old with one foot in the grave. We let out a fun laugh at the man. It's true, you can ask her. What are you talking about me? Clara asked as she served the table along with Meredith. I was remembering my secretaries with them. They all were very well interviewed by me. She said, making us laugh. I see that I was lucky then, Lauren said with her eyes on me, making me blush. The lunch was peaceful. We were on the balcony of the huge seaside mansion talking about various subjects. It was getting late and the sea breeze made everything more refreshing. Lauren's family surely was very different from what I imagined. From what I know, they came from a humble origin, and that was shown in the simplicity of Michael and Clara, and it obviously didn't interfere at all in the high society conduct in which they lived. They were always very friendly. Are you finding it awful? I heard Lauren speak. What? Staying here. I promised that I would take you to meet LA. Don't worry, the goal is that you spend time with your family. Besides, I love talking to them. Really? She asked, surprised. Really, Miss Jauregui, I spoke, faking formalities. Lauren, don't start with Miss Jauregui this weekend, Camila. As you wish. Perfect, Miss Cabello. You can and I can't? I asked, faking annoyance. Yes, I'm the boss here. No, We are outside Jauregui's industry. Here we are just Camila and Lauren. You are too clever. I know. I winked at her, which made her smile. I thought that we could go for a walk on the Santa Monica's pier. What do you think, Tay? It's a great idea. Really? I always wanted to go there. Lauren smiled. Well then, let's go. Like now. I'm going to stay, okay? Taylor spoke quickly. But why? I need to meet a friend now, but go with Camilla. But Tay. Shush. Enjoy, sis. Lauren and I didn't understand the reason why she didn't want to go. But it didn't take even an hour and we were already parked next to Santa Monica's pier. The place was simply gorgeous. We walked across the whole extension of the pier where there were several kids playing around, some adults taking pictures of their families, and friends near the huge Ferris wheel of the place. This place is wonderful. You like it? Of course, you don't? I love it, Camilla. When I was younger my parents always brought us here. Chris and Taylor played a lot in these games they make here. You are a beautiful family. You think? She asked with a confused look while putting her hands in her pockets. I'm sure, Lauren. We stood in silence for a few minutes, only walking towards the beach. Lauren was the first to get to the sand, kindly helping me take my flat sandals off my feet. Nothing better than bare feet in the sand, she said, taking her black combat boots off. You are absolutely right. Lauren stood up quickly, extending a hand to me. Let's go. One walk only. I promise to not go far away. Deal. We were far away enough from the pier to have a wonderful view of it. The sun was setting at that time. The view was simply breathtaking. The sky had an orange coloration, with spaced clouds, leaving only the vague drawings in that immensity. This sunset is definitely going in my ranking as one of the best. Lauren spoke sitting on the sand, dropping her shoes aside. You have a ranking? I asked, joining her. I have, and this is in second place. In first place is the one that I saw with my dad and my grandma. It was amazing, and it was here, you know? Really? Yes, in this same place that we are now. How do you know that it's exactly here? I asked in challenge, making Lauren smile. I simply know, Cams. I feel it, it's an important place. I always came here with them until my grandma died, of course. I had never brought anyone here before. I took a deep breath, feeling my heart weaken. Why did she have to be so wonderful? Why did you bring me? I asked without thinking. I don't know, something told me that I had to bring you here, Miss Cabello. Something? She nodded. I don't know what to say. Can I be happy with that? I asked. Lauren smiled while staring at me. Her hair was a bit disheveled due to the sea breeze. Her eyes were in a lighter tone, calm and cozy. If you think it's good, yes. You can. It's good, yes. Great then, but tell me a little about you. By now you know a lot about me, and I don't know so much about you. Why were you sad yesterday? She asked while drawing something in the sand. I took a deep breath, remembering yesterday. I looked away from her eyes, just appreciating the twilight that happened there. The sun had already set, leaving room only for the brightness of the stars that night. It's complicated. I can understand, she said softly. I don't have a family like yours, Lauren. I don't have parents who love me, who take care of me, who worry about me. She stood quiet, only staring at me. I don't talk to my mother for years, and let alone with the man who claims to be my father. And why? She hates me, and I don't even want to see him. What happened between you two? You probably don't want to know. I'm not going to fill your head with my problems. I spoke, lowering my head. Lauren got even closer to me, staying right beside me. I want to get to know you, Camila. I looked into her green eyes, and they seemed so sincere, they transmitted me so much trust. My father left us very early, left us in an endless misery. We spent days without having anything to eat because of him and his gambling addiction. He sold everything we had for gambling. He would come home drunk at dawn, breaking everything with fury for having lost it all. And sometimes he would even beat my mother, you know? I closed my eyes when I remembered those moments, trying to control the urge to cry. I saw so many things that I would do anything to forget. But then one day he left for good, and we really were with nothing. I couldn't handle any more seeing my mother and my sister in that situation, so I looked for a job and got some money, but my mother didn't like the job, and she said several things to me. Things that I will never be able to forget one day. But I still continued. I left home and promised my sister Sophie that I would return for her. It was when I started working at Jauregui's industry, and I met Dinah and Ali, and with the money that I started earning we rented an apartment and the rest I sent for my mother and sister every month. And everything was working, you know? Lauren nodded. Her forehead was furrowed, maybe trying to understand everything. Or part of everything, I could never tell. Her what job had been, even feeling that at that moment she would forgive me for everything. And you went back to see them yesterday? I nodded, wiping the tears that insisted on falling. I received an eviction letter for my mother, so I went to check what had happened because every month I send them enough money for the house. And when I got there I saw my sister. Ah, Lauren, she was so beautiful and big. I said, remembering Sophie, feeling a pang in my heart for having her far away from me. We talked for a few hours until my mother arrived, and as expected she hurt me again. She mistreated me like I was nothing. What a bitch, Lauren said without even realizing. I'm sorry, but I have no other word for it. Don't worry, it's fine. Maybe you're right. He was there too, with her. Your father? The same, Alejandro Cabello. He already messed her head again, and I'm sure that's him that's been taking all the money. You can't leave things like that, Camila. Her tone was angry. I can't do anything, Lauren. The only solution would be to take Sophie from there. It's only with her that I worry, but I don't know how I can do this. Well, I do, don't worry. I have some friends who are lawyers, and most certainly they will make it happen. No, I can't accept it. Lauren stared at me serious. You can't accept that your sister lives with them. That is what you can't accept, Camila. She deserves a home, a real home with love and care, and there's no one better than you to give her that. I had no more control. I could only cry, thinking about everything that I had lived, and all the humiliations and contempt. One couldn't let the same happen to Sophia. No, I couldn't. I raised my head, staring at Lauren, who stared at me with a worried countenance. Thank you, Lauren. She didn't say anything, only hugged me tightly. Maybe I had never felt like I feel right now. I wanted to understand how Lauren was able to leave me like this, mesmerized, with the nerves on alert at every instant, with that butterflies in stomach cliché. What was it about her that turned my world upside down, that made me do crazy things? Damn, I was lost. Lost in those green eyes that time or another stared at me curious, that relaxed smile in the middle of our simpler conversations. Lost in the desire that she made me feel, in her body, and in her hands when they touched me, in her lips that kissed me with desire under the night's disguise. Oh Camillo, there were absolutely no more doubts. I was lost, but hopelessly lost in love with Lauren Jauregui. I had an ideal. Lauren exclaimed, staring at me with a broad smile. What idea? Let's continue with our walk? It's getting late, and I still want to take you to meet the Central Park of Los Angeles. I don't want to see you sad, okay? I promise that I will help you with Sophie, and I'll want to meet her. She spoke, getting up and wiping the sand from her pants. Look how I look, my eyes are probably red. Let's go home. Stop being lazy, Camila. You'll love it, I guarantee you. I'm your guide this weekend, and the tour of LA is not over yet, Missy. You still look beautiful, I assure you. Is this gonna cost me a lot? I asked, playing along. Maybe a few years of slave work at Jauregui's industry. I let out a laugh with her. That is not good. Now it's too late, no one told you to accept spending the weekend with me. You know how annoying I am. You are not. But I'll be now, so let's go, please. It was really cute how excited she was to take me to this place. I wouldn't deny her request, especially because most of the time Lauren didn't ask. She ordered like a good businesswoman and president. Lauren extended her hand to me and helped me get up. After a few minutes in the car, we arrived at one of the biggest parks in LA. It was beautiful and somewhat busy this night. We walked through the huge extension of it, around the central lake that was illuminated by LED lights floating on the calm water, until we saw a group of people sitting in front of a huge screen that was there. We can buy something to eat if you want, and sit somewhere to see the movie. What do you think? Lauren sometimes seemed to read my thoughts. Really? Of course. I confess that I always like to come to outdoor theaters. But I never came accompanied. Well, here I am, I said, smiling. Perfect. Sit in that place, there's some blankets that they deliver here. I'll get something for us to eat and I'll join you. Lauren spoke and quickly walked away. I looked around, noticing how much of a couple program that was. I sat on the blanket that was on the soft grass. The movie had already started. Around there were families, sitting all together watching the movie that would probably be a romance. Some couples were hugged amid fondles, causing a tiny hint of envy for wanting to be like this with her. I'm back, Camila. I heard Lauren's voice, and she carefully sat beside me. In her hands a medium bucket of popcorn that smelled divinely well, and a bag with some candies and soda. How old were we? I feel like a kid eating so much crap like this, I said, smiling at her. Me too, but it's only fair. It's been a while since I didn't eat these things. Seriously? Well, I always eat it. I'll get fat one of these days, I whispered. Lauren arched a brow. Camila, with all due respect, you are anything but fat. I let out a laugh at her, who smiled. We were in the back. Most people were closer to the screen. Around us there were only two couples amid caresses. I quickly glanced at Lauren, who was focused on the movie. How could she be so beautiful? Damn it, it wasn't enough for her to drive me crazy with all the fire she had when she met with Carla. She still had to be kind and sweet with Camila. Our closeness was being so surreal. Lauren wasn't an open person with others. She didn't let anyone inhabit in her personal world. But with me she was different. I just didn't know why. I shook my head, trying to stop those thoughts and focus on the movie that seemed to be really good. Is everything okay? No, everything was not okay. I liked her too much to stay like this. Play song. Yes, I was just thinking. Can I know about what? She whispered to not disturb the people around us. About how this year is being good. Lauren stood quiet, only with her eyes on mine, to then open a smile. I'm going to tell you a secret. Lauren got closer, sitting right next to me, and leaned in to speak in my ear. I am also loving this year. She whispered softly in my ear, making all the hairs on my body stand on end. I lowered my head and smiled. Do you mind if I lay my head on your lap? I don't want to seem abused, but since I am. There's no problem, you can lie down. Lauren quickly put aside some things, and accommodated herself on the floor, putting her head on my legs. Vero is going to kill me, I'm lying on the lap of her conquest. Or Austin, right? I don't have anything with either of them. Great then, I don't want to get into arguments with anyone because of jealousy from one of your suitors, Miss Cabello. Ha, it wouldn't only be with them, you know? There's your fiancée, Alexa. She would be one of the first to argue. Oh God, don't even say the name of that woman, ruining our night, it's a no-no. You are so different from her. I know, you must wonder what I saw in her, right? No, I don't wonder that. Alexa is pretty woman, fancy, and I bet she comes from a prestigious family. Oh. If you like that I voiced the continuation of the series Stripper and want me to continue, please like and write a comment on the video. This will be an incentive to continue working on translation and dubbing.